You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. We got a couple of things. We got a Browns insider saying, wait a minute, pump the brakes on the fact that either one of these quarterbacks came out of the rookie minicamp looking better than the other one. Very interesting indeed on that, because we, of course, I did a video the other day. We had dueling insiders talking about how good Shedeur looked. We had another one that Tony Grossi, old school, coming out and saying, no, Dillon Gabriel looked like the better quarterback in camp. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, what the hell do we want to believe here? We don't know. We've also got Travis Hunter, that's right, the teammate of Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, coming out and making a declaration about what it is him and Shedeur are doing, what it is Sanders is doing after his drop in the draft, his fall in the draft. So let's do the insiders first, okay? Because I found this interesting after the mini camp. It didn't take long for the so-called silly season portion of evaluating Cleveland Brown quarterbacks to get underway. Well, they got enough of them. Observers, nobody knows if any of them can play, outside of Joe Flacco, by the way. Observers couldn't agree on whether or not fifth-round draft pick Shedeur Sanders or third-round choice Dillon Gabriel produced the better performances during the club's rookie minicamp last weekend. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But you got to be careful. Look at sort of some allegiances, where they lie, yada, 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 and how all this went down. Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland Plain Dealer addressed the matter for a piece published Friday. Quote, Sanders didn't beat out Gabriel's hands down, like some have reported. It was much closer to a tie, but he looked very good and more than held his own, Cabot wrote. It was a good start for both and a nice base on which to build their case in the quarterback derby. Well, look, guys, if this thing's even close, Jimmy Haslam's going to get involved. All right? I'm just saying. They're very aware. I was telling John earlier, I brought this up before, but just far as pure social media pool, I mean, it's Caitlin Clark-like when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. I brought this up before. Jimmy Haslam's got to be aware of that from a business standpoint. Former NFL running back and current analyst LaShawn McCoy, the Athletics' Zach Jackson, previously said Sanders looked, quote, like the best player at the Browns minicamp, and it was not close. However, Tony Grossi of ESPN Cleveland and The Land on Demand later made it know that he felt Gabriel looked like the better signal caller. It's wild how different this came out. Well, the Browns are allegedly holding a four-way competition for their starting quarterback job that will run through a portion of August. Most expect head coach Kevin Stefanski will name either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett Cleveland's Week 1 QB1. Why in the hell wouldn't you just give it to Joe Flacco? I mean, come on. I mean, maybe Kenny Pickett, I will say this. If Kenny Pickett is going to make it with anybody, Kevin Stefanski and that particular system, all right, which is perfect for your Jimmy Garoppolos, your Kirk Cousins, those kind of guys, and frankly, Kenny Pickett's more athletic than those guys, this would be the system. But, man, the fan base, they're going to be at the front door with torches. The Browns could trade or cut the loser of the Flacco-Pickett battle so they can have both Gabriel and Sanders on the active roster come September. One of the two's going to be cut. I still think it's going to be Kenny Pickett. Quote, both players put surprisingly few passes on the ground considering they were throwing to mostly tryout players whom they had met the day before, Cabot added, about how Sanders and Gabriel performed during rookie minicamp. Both quarterbacks made good decisions and were accurate most of the time. Their footwork on dropbacks looked smooth, and they looked comfortable working under center as well as from shotgun. Sanders had to recover from one errant snap, but quickly scooped the ball and made the play. Of the two rookies, Sanders undeniably has more star power and the bigger presence as it pertains to headlines. Many outsiders believe Sanders was a first-round talent, but it's now known that his handling of the pre-draft process impacted how his teams viewed him around the league. Analysts predicted ahead of the draft that Gabriel would be a third-day selection. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of the biggest stories rolling forward between these two guys. Just you never expected to see two rookies on the same. Now, if one of these guys was an undrafted free agent or something like that, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of teams that will draft a quarterback and then sign an undrafted free agent guy. Now, Raiders selected back-to-back quarterbacks, I think, in the draft this year. I think it was round 6 and 7. But one of those guys, they got pegged to be sort of a Taysom Hill kind of guy. So, Travis Hunter was talking about Shedeur Sanders, and this is what he said. Travis Hunter said he has spoken to Sanders since his slide down the NFL draft board, and he knows his former teammate and great friend is ready to exact same thing. He will too start his journey. Quote, "We're going to work, man," Hunter said while discussing the excitement to partner with Piani America, who will be giving him his first rookie trading card at the NFLPA Rookie Premiere in L.A. "We both got our heads down and doing what we have to do. There's a lot of doubters out there for him. He's going to work. I'm going to work and just going to do what we've always been doing." While the football world has been looking closely at how Sanders and Gabriel were competing in a rookie minicamp, Hunter has exceeded expectations the Jaguars had for him already. Interesting. Yeah, I can imagine. We had high expectations. He's exceeded my expectations, but Tony Baselli said. You can see the athlete on the field. You can see how he moves, change in direction, the body control. It's the first person that I'm most enamored with. I hate to bring this up for Cleveland fans, but could you imagine Shedeur and Travis on the same team? I've seen a lot of Cleveland Browns fans going, man, we could have had both of these jokers. That's interesting because if Shedeur turns out to be a guy and Travis turns out to be what I think is going to be a superstar, then damn, that what could have been there. Well, they would have been together throughout from here on out, which is kind of what you hope to do for these young, when you get these young quarterbacks and these wide receivers together. You hope they can kind of grow with the player. The Patriots took Kyle Williams this year in the draft, hoping he's going to grow with Drake May. They also grabbed Travion Henderson. Well, they got a triplets potential situation going on there in New England. So you get my point, what I'm saying. Cleveland had a good draft, though. I was talking today about Shedeur Sanders on a live stream or a member stream. Join. Go to Black and White Sports. Join. Become a member of that channel. You get access to the live stream. And we were talking about Shedeur, and the one thing that we gave him credit for, he never one time blamed his drop or anything related to his drop on race. That never came up. And good for him for not doing that, And again, everything that's coming out is that he's got his head down, he's working his ass off. This it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes down. I like Dillon Gabriel a lot. I liked him coming out in the draft, but if I was going to be honest, I mean, him and Shedeur would have been right there next to each other as far as rankings go. So here we are. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.